we're going to be discussing one of the diseases that really plagues, or one of the poster children of diseases for mental illness. And last week we were speaking on mental health. I wanted to ask her a few more details on some diseases, but she said, look, these things, if I start it, it's a whole topic on its own. And today we are here to address that whole topic on its own. And so we're going into bipolar disorders. In movies, we see a lot of that, bipolar disorders. Some Ghanaians have even self-diagnosed some celebrities in Ghana that they are bipolar. But really, what exactly is bipolar disorders? And we have no one else but our mental health nurse, Miss Deborah, to have that discussion with us. Good morning. It's an amazing morning, and we're very happy that we're going to have this discussion with Miss Deborah. Good morning, Miss Deborah.
Good morning.
I hope you're doing well.
I am, and yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. You said last week we had a vibe. You were missing from that vibe, so and we're still going to be vibing.
Definitely, and I'm happy that you mentioned that you spoke about mental health. It's very important, and I think that people's sanity is very key.
Definitely. So, Miss Deborah,
yes,
we're going to start off our conversation today with bipolar disorder. What exactly is bipolar disorder?
Thank you very much. I will do as I started last week. I'll be grateful to God for life, and then appreciate the mental health professionals around the world who are doing massively well. And then your people here, and then finally to our wonderful audience this morning. So when we talk about bipolar disorder, we are looking at a mood disorder. When we say mood, we are speaking about how we express our emotions or feelings. So bipolar is a mood disorder, and it's characterized by alternating mood swings or cycling of moods from the highs to the lows. And these changes causes an impairment in a person's normal daily functioning. So basically that is bipolar disorder.
Okay. Okay, now you mentioned mood swings.
Yes, please.
It's categorized by mood swings.
Yes.
Even me, sometimes I have mood swings because of my cycle. Would you say that another name for bipolar disorder is mood swings, or the fact that someone has mood swings means they have bipolar disorder?
Oh, okay. I wouldn't say mood swing is the same as bipolar, but bipolar is an intense form of mood swing. Because with the explanation I give, there is definitely swings in the person's mood. And then when we look around, mood swing is entirely not bad. There are sometimes we go into situation like you mentioned your cycle. You face a situation or a condition, and then you just change, you just shift. And then with mood swing and bipolar, the differences is the severity and then the duration. So if we are talking about mood swing, it can last, let me say, few hours to a day. It doesn't usually go beyond a day. There are some people when they wake up in the morning, I think I do that sometimes. I go to the work early in the morning. I don't feel like talking to anybody. It's not because of something that has happened in the house. I have observed myself that I normally do that. But as the day is going, you see that I become lively. I have come to know that that is me. So some of my colleagues are also aware. So when I come and I'm not talking to them, they don't have any issues with me. That is with mood swing. It fades hours to a day. That is it. But when it is bipolar, when we look into the types, we will see there are some that can go like at least 4 days a week, some weeks, some months, some even years. So the severity and then the duration makes this one a disorder, and then this one the normal one. So bipolar is not the same as mood swing, or mood swing is not the other name for bipolar disorder.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm glad that clarification has been made.
Yes, definitely. We are getting some clarification, and it's very, very important. But we also want to know, what are the causes of bipolar disorder? What makes someone's emotions or character, go the other way around? Abaza normal, obia or normal, all of a sudden, yebo day, okay, damana or kodo wana brabo.
Okay, as with mental illnesses, it is difficult to actually get exact causes of the illnesses, but there are some factors that predisposes people to the development of a disorder. So like in the case of bipolar, the first one we are looking at is genetic. But in bipolar, you must have a first degree relative. You stand a higher chance. If both parents, you stand a more higher chance than obi ane maame pe. And see, if your mother, your father, your sibling has, you have a higher chance of developing than the general population. It could also be that it's in the family, but it's not the first degree relative. You can also get it. And it could also be that it is in the family, but you will not get it. That is it with genetic. It's not 100% that once it is here, I will get it, but it's probability. It's a higher probability that you will get it. And then also we are looking at biochemistry. There are times there are changes in the brain, which sometimes is difficult to explain. They change how some of the parts of the body function. We know there is a part in the body that controls emotion. It's called amygdala.
Okay.
There are times it just goes haywire. You can't explain why it goes beyond how they are supposed. And that is actually the beginning of the manic episode of the bipolar.
When you say manic episodes, what does that mean?
I think when we move to the types, but briefly, it's the manic episode is the high of the bipolar. So let's say we have a line like this. In the middle is a normal mood or the normal affect, which is called euthemic. And then we have the high at this side, and then we have the low. So the high is the mania or the manic, and then the low is the depression or the depressive. And even with the manic, a lesser form of the manic we call hypomania. So it is also a mania, but it is not intense as the mania itself. So that is it with the manic I said. So drug use or alcohol use can also predispose a person to developing bipolar. And then environmental factors like chronic stress, when you're exposed to stress all the time, let's say the death of a loved ones, any traumatic events like what is happening in some part of Volta and Eastern, Akosomo is in the Eastern region, right? What is happening there is a traumatic event. People have built their life for years, and then for some reasons which is best known to people can explain, there is flood all over, and people have lost properties. How are they going to adjust? You know, remember we mentioned stress and adaptation last week. So these trauma events can also prone somebody to developing bipolar disorder.
So you can either be born with it or you develop it along the line.
Even the born, I won't say born. When we are talking about born, we are looking at congenital defect. That one is visible at birth.
Okay.
But even the genetic, it's not like you are born. You have carried a genetic mutation, which other factors can trigger to the development of the disorder. So I wouldn't say you are born with the bipolar.
Okay.
Because we can't probably
birth,
see
you have
it.
a higher risk.
You have a higher risk
Okay.
because of your association with your parent or a sibling who has the disorder.
Teacher, there at any point in time in your growing up,
Yes, please.
okay.
Okay. So looking at, I'm going to come right out and say there are a lot of celebrities in Ghana. I mentioned something like that earlier, but I wouldn't want to mention a few names.
Thank
but
you
when I
very
say
much for that.
when I say it, I mean there are so many people. You will go into their comment section and people are like, "Hey, bipolar, you're bipolar." Some of them have even come out to say it themselves.
Yes.
That I'm bipolar. Some people. Judging from how they act on social media, we feel that then that means they are bipolar because we've watched a lot of movies and we've heard the word bipolar once or twice in there. We've turned into medical professionals. But we want to know exactly how would you identify someone who has bipolar disorder?
So in a bipolar disorder, we have three main conditions. We have the mania, we have the hypomania, and then the depression. So we will look at the signs and symptoms of these three. So when you see the person having it, then you can tell. So the mania, I said, is the high emotion. So the person has expansive mood. And this one must last at least 1 week. and the person must express these symptoms most of the time every day. So we have 24 hours in a day. So like about 15 hours, 20 hours, the person must be in that mood every day for at least 1 week before it can fit. And then these symptoms that I'm going to mention, at least 3 of them must be there. So the first one is there is decreased need for sleep. It's either the person is sleeping less or not sleeping at all. Some people can go days without sleeping. And even the little sleep that they have, they wake up and they are very energetic. They are not tired. That is it with mania. And they are easily distractible. They can't pay attention to one. So people normally misdiagnose them with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
Okay.
They
So
can't,
let's break it down a bit. So you talked about how when they sleep for just a little time. So how would we explain that to someone in our local language? Say, woda or da.
Okay.
How would you explain?
One and then do it.
Okay.
Was short hours.
Hours. Enti nipa no make a decrease need for sleep no. Obeda kitwe bi anase onda kwa obi be a day to now on die. It will say ote say yeti hey somebody can sleep maybe a few seconds now. Sorry, I say ejuma bi da no so I say so yeah, that is it with the mania. It's like they are supposed to be everywhere all the time, like time is going for them and they must do certain things. Into almost that piece, it can be like 1 hour, it can be like 30 minutes, it can be like few hours, seconds, sorry, no maniati. But said the Ayaka said everybody needs sleep because during sleep, our brain and the body rest so that we wake up and we are refreshed to move on to the day's activity. They don't have enough sleep, but they are not tired. That is it with mania. They don't sleep enough, but they are not tired.
So
they are
would
always,
you say they are restless?
I would say they are restless in a way. They are always active and they are easily distractible, like I said. Bibi achi o attention. Odi ejuma we manwa ontimi nye we we obeko baby fufu. And then there is a feeling of grandiosity. Like they feel like they have some sense of importance, like they carry some power, they are above some people, some high self-esteem that they have, like they feel like they are on top of the world. Some people can even move into psychotic where they feel like, me, I'm God, I can hear God talking to me, I'm the president of this country, I'm this person. They can even use a celebrity to say that, I am this person. Meanwhile, you know that they are not. And they normally have, they lose touch with reality. Like some of their behaviors are not normal. Under normal circumstances or normal, that is not how they are. But they shift and they behave in a way that makes you not understand them. Please, do you get my point? Yeah, that is it with them. So they are easily distractible, like I said, and they have concentration problem. Like I said, they can't be focused at a point. They will just be shifting and then they sleep. And because they are not sleeping enough, they also have shift in their appetite. If it is a child, meaning you'll be chasing that child with a diet. I'm not saying a child will have the mania, but I'm just describing. So if it's an adult and you want the person to eat, it's probably you'll be chasing him or her with the food. They will just be eating little bites. That is it with the mania. So the hypomania is similar to the mania, just that this one is less. It's less. And the mania should last at least 1